How will the NDTV saga end? If you read newspaper reports, it appears as if the Roys are fighting tooth and nail Mr. Gautam Adani from acquiring their company. Well, every tribunal, every forum where they could have appealed has now ruled in favor of Adani. So he's starting with 29.18%. This was the RRPR, which was warrants. Now those are in his possession. So he has 29.18%. Now comes news. There's a possibility that two investment funds could put their stock in the camp of Adani. And that comes up to 14.17%. And I'm going to show you how the ownership distribution looks like in just a minute now. As you can see that as it stood, the Royce sold to Ambani with a company called VCPL. Now, that part is the RRPR holdings. You know all that stories. Now, in exchange for that, they must have made some money off of it because they went and bought some properties in South Africa. Remember this, they have some properties in South Africa, and I believe now they can travel abroad, and they may have already left for there. So all the posturing and grandstanding might be just some press releases from Prannoy Roy to try and give the impression that they are not very happy with this deal. They may not be, and I'll tell you why they may not be in just a minute here. So how do things stand right now? So if you look at the shareholding pattern in March 2016, the way it looked like was 14.17% was held by a company called Oswald Green Tech. Now, what happened after that was around on the 29th of March, Abhay Oswald dies of a heart attack in Moscow. Then what happens between then and the next few months, this particular 14.17%, this 14.17% translates to 9136894 shares of NDTV. Keep that number in mind. Okay. Now, what happens is in September 2016, if you look at the shareholding pattern, not much has changed except two investment funds combined now own 14.17%. Think about this, guys. This is a public company and the shares have to be listed out in the open. How is it that to the last share, the shareholding pattern goes from Oswald Green Tech to these two investment companies? And that itself is a very serious thing. The two investments are 𝙤𝙧𝙤𝙪 Investments, and 𝙤𝙧𝙤𝙪 has since gone to another company called Vicasa, and the number of shares they had was 2.85 million. I'm going to ignore the last four digits. And LTS Investment, which is 6.285 million. Now, if you add these two numbers, it will come exactly back to this number. Now, the question I have is, how is it that in a public company, the transaction happens so precisely that one company which held these shares now has given it to two other companies which hold the same exact amount of shares? I'll tell you how it can be possible. It's possible if somebody's shares are being held as Benami under the first one, and therefore now the Benami is transferring that by a sleight of hand, because none of the investing public will know this. How did they do it? I don't know. I don't know if SEBI is going to look into this or not, but it is our duty to tell you that something interesting happened here, and these two companies now own the same exact number of shares. Now, let's get back to the main thing. What is going to happen with this 14.17%? Now, Adani will own 43.35%. He only needs 6.65% from open stock offer to get it to 50% or more. The rest are between the Roys and other shareholders, like it could be public shareholders. I've seen some BNP Paribas has some things and so on and so forth. So at this point, what do you think is going to happen? My take, and I could be wrong about this, but I think this is how it's going to happen. What's going to happen is somewhere magically the 7% extra shares will appear and Gautam Adani will be the proud owner of NDTV, leaving the Roys to pay the income tax dues, the money laundering fine, and everything else from their percentage of ownership, and that perhaps will be taken over because these people will not have any money to pay. They don't have any money to pay, as a matter of fact. These will be taken in lieu of that. It could be a distress sale, but I think what will happen is the Roys will be allowed to walk with just their clothes on to South Africa, never to return. Let this be a lesson to all the other cheaters. That's what the Modi government might say. I don't know if it will happen or not, but that is definitely one outcome, and that is possible. If the same thing were to play out to a bunch of other companies who've all done this kind of sleight of hand, the media in India will start getting cleaned up. It's a different matter if NDTV starts singing tunes of Adani and Modi and Amit Shah. That you can't help it, but at least somebody is going to get hurt real bad. That is, anybody trying to do this kind of hanky-panky in the future will think twice. India needs to clean up its financial markets. It's the way the company structures are there, the way the exchanges are run, and I think that would be this would be a step in the right direction for that to happen. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to click on the bell button for notifications. And if you think you liked our research, please consider donating to us using the super thanks button. Namaskar.